Trey Daniels brings him to the line. And we're green. Carly Austin getting into Michael Stearns. Michael Stearns in the 28 car. Oh, and the hood goes up on Jason Elf. Flies off up in the middle of turn 3 and 4. Someone forgot the hood pins. I'm going to talk to that crew chief. As our crackpot safety crew gets out there. Oh, this reminds me. One time, probably about 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe, I was leaving the racetrack here, and across the street, out on Wilson Way, in the ditch, was Chad Nascimeno's hood off of his Legend. I took that sucker home. Wall art. Yep.
Oh, I thought you were going to build a race car from that hood.
I could. It wouldn't be very good, but
I got a good start. I'm going to build me a race car.
Exactly.
That's like the little kid that got a box of horse manure for Christmas.
I'm going to build a horse?
Got a box of horse manure, and he was an optimist. And he says, "You can't fool me. I know there's a pony in here somewhere." You know.
So Trey Daniels and Jason Elf going to try again. Jason Elf just wanted to get a little bit cooler running car there. Eight-lap heat race, not main event. Trey Daniels bringing him to the line. Mike Soysis giving him the bumper. Michael Stearns giving the bumper. Michael Stearns right there in the 28 car. Side by side, Carly Austin. Mike Soysis to the front. Raymond Casey giving Carly Austin a little bumper tab. Oh, and Michael Stearns trying to make it. Oh, Jason Elf sideways and around. Is he going to be able to get it going? Carly Austin out in front. All right, caution came out. Now we got Carly Austin out in front. Raymond Casey in the second spot. Mike Soysis is in the 52 car. The 52. Michael Stearns is in the 28 car. Right there with the white hood. Black with a white hood. Right there in the fourth spot. Heat 1, Heat 2. All right, lights are out. Carly Austin on the pole with Mike Soysis on the outside. Michaela Stearns dives to the inside, getting around Raymond Casey, gives it back to him. Carly Austin looking strong out there. Michael Stearns there in the fourth spot. Michaela right behind him. Soyseth and Raymond Casey get together going into turn 1. No harm, no foul. Clayton Travels makes his way around Michaela Stearns. Five laps to go. Fast lap of the race is going to go to Carly Austin out in front. She's come a long ways in this division. Halfway at the line. Clayton Travels making his way right up alongside Michael Stearns. Michael Stearns not wanting to give it up. Mike Soyce is right there in the third spot. Clayton Travels dives it down to the flat. Clayton holding on in that red 37. Clayton cannot get up to the high side because Michael just will not give it up. Michael Stearns holding solid, locks up the left front, letting sister get up alongside of him in the 20 car, Michaela Stearns. Michael loses that position. Michaela is going to run down on the bottom. White flag in the air. Carly Austin out in front. Raymond Casey in second. Mike Soyce is there in the third spot. Carly Austin will be your heat race number 1 winner with Raymond Casey in the second spot. Heat 1. All right, up next in the other 37 car, that's going to be Aaron DeJesus. Then you got Justin Yeager in the 2 car. 25 car is Cody Terrell. And then you got Zach Sansom in the other 3 car. 57 car coming out on the track now. That's Rob Lathrop. And in the 77 car, that we can't see the numbers on, that's Mike Shapiro, followed by Justin Lovelace and Casey Phillips. Aaron DeJesus was not here yesterday for practice, but look at him starting on the front line of the second heat. 8-lap race. Oh, in the 25 car, he was just out warming tires. Cody Terrell not on the racing surface anymore. Pulled off the track. Something must have happened to him. All right, Aaron DeJesus, Justin Yeager, front row. Zach Sansom, Rob Lathrop. Lights are out. Jesus bringing him to the line. Justin Yeager getting the jump, but taking over the early lead. Rob Lathrop. This guy's been out here since Hare. Yeah, you think so? Your leader, Rob Lathrop, coming all the way from San Jose, been racing here since 1997. In the second spot, Justin Lovelace, right ahead of Justin Yeager and Casey Phillips. Rob Lathrop way out in front. Fast time going to Zach Sansom with a 15.954 in the 3 car. Even though Rob Lathrop's way out in front, the fast lap is going to go to that white 3 car. Justin Lovelace, first time racing that car this year at 19 with the orange numbers. White flag next time by. White flag in the air. Rob Lathrop coming around. Going to take the checkered flag. Casey Phillips making a late run for the 3rd position. Can she? And she gets the 3rd spot. Justin Lovelace in 2nd. And Justin Yeager dropping back to the 4th spot. Justin really good out there for the first time racing that car in an actual race instead of practice. Up in the flag stand, give it a big round of applause for our flag man, Mark Vinslett. Hey, Mark, the fans want to know, well, okay, I want to know, which line is the actual finish line? Neither one. Yes, that's my answer. Timing and scoring loop is way over about another 8 foot before it. I got you. I see it right there. Yeah. Okay. So the photo finish comes to the first white line, or the second, depends on which we like. On the track now in the 8 car, that's Keith Clement. You got Forrest Souza in the 9 car, Blake Borchers in the 65, Josh Ayers in the 71, Kylie Daniels. Give it up for those Daniels in the 7 car. The 12C, that's Cody Winchell. He's fast. Lewis Tyrell, another fast one in the 74 car. The 2 car, Chad Nascimento and Jordan Holloway in the 12H. So, Wayne, how many years do you think that 8 car that's out on the pole has been here? Keith Clement and his brother. Who was the other guy that drove it?
His nephew, Fred.
Well, Fred drove the 57, but the 58, but there were 2 guys. There was Keith Clement and...
Fred.
Not Fred. Who's in the pits over there?
Fred.
No, the other guy. Let's just say that car's been out here since here.
And
Yeah.
it's sporting a Dave Texaco sticker on it.
A Dave Texaco sticker?
Texaco.
Oh, Dave's Texaco. Oh, it's a tribute car
For the late, great.
for the late, great Dave Clement. Wow. Sponsored by Clement Racing Engines, by the way. Ted Clement, that was it. Out in front, Keith Clement. Forrest Souza making a move to the front. 71 of Josh Ayers. But look at Cody Winchell down on the flat with that 12 car. Blake Borchers there on the 65. Lewis the Machine, Tyrell, watch out for that kid. Forrest Souza out in front. Josh Ayers right up alongside Keith Clement. Keith Clement sideways a little bit coming out of two. Cody Winchell goes down to the grass, mowing the lawn while he's coming around turn 4. Moves up into the second position. Lewis Tyrell right there in the 74. Lewis Tyrell trying to make his way up to the front. Forrest Souza out there in that 9 car. Fast lap of the race going to the number 2 car of Chad Nascimento. Now Chad Nascimento just biding his time, just hanging out in the back. And look at this, Cody Winchell to the bottom, mowing some more grass down in turn 3 and 4, taking over the lead, coming out of turn 4. Cody Winchell. Lewis Tyrell making his way around Forrest Souza up into the second spot. Checkered flag in the air, and it's going to go to Lewis Tyrell taking over the lead on the last lap. Cody Winchell in second, Josh Ayers in the third spot, Forrest Souza in the fourth spot.
Heat race number 4 about to happen. Wyatt Sampson in the 12 car. Josh Fleming in the 14. Kevin Travels in the 33. Dylan Washburn in the 70. Aiden Daniels in the 80. The 19 is Brandon White. Christian Bazan in the 43. Jake Bowman in the 71B. And the 35 is Jeremy Doss. All right, 8 laps. Wyatt Sampson and Josh Fleming Up front, here we go. Wait a minute, wait for it. Not. No. Some were ready, some were not.
One was ready.
Maybe one. Maybe one was ready and the rest, no. Hey, Central Valley Community Bank, brand new shiny sponsor this year, Robert. Yes. Go borrow some money. Right. Buy something pretty. Like a house or a car. Race car even. Yeah. Central Valley Community Bank. Google them up on the interweb. It's cvcb.com. Pretty easy. Yeah, CVCB. That's a no-brainer. Thank you for coming on board here at Stockton 99 Speedway. I Pull, You Pull is on board again. Hey, and the first person that could come up to the porch out there and tell Robert who invented the Johnson rod, he will give you a certificate for I Pull, You Pull. Nope. Wait a minute. Wait for it. Once again, the first person that can come up and tell Robert who invented the Johnson rod will get a $100 certificate to I Pull, You Pull. Well, okay. We have a start. Josh Fleming out front. Josh Fleming way out front with no one contesting the lead. Halfway through. Laps to go with Jeremy Doss trying to put the move on our leader. Wait a minute. There it goes. New leader at the stripe, Jeremy Doss out front with one to go. And coming down to the line, there it is, Jeremy Doss, followed by Josh Fleming, and the number 19 car, Brandon White, rounds out the top three. There you go. Legend Racing. Well, we're going to try this one more time, Robert.
Yeah, okay.
I Pull, You Pull, where, you can pull the part or they'll pull it for you. Really great auto dismantler, self-serve wrecking yard. They give us $100 gift certificates to give out. And now that it's quiet, the first person that'll come up there to the porch and tell Robert who invented the Johnson rod. And, a lot of the cars have Johnson rods, and some do, some don't, but all that. But first person that can tell Robert who invented the Johnson rod will win that $100 gift certificate to I Pull, You Pull. Come on up there. No yelling it from the grandstands. Come up there where you can see you. Hey, B. Main. Yes. Do you remember B. Mains? It's been a while. But when we have too many cars to put in the A main, we have what they call a B main. Justin Lovelace is in the B main in the 19. Raymond Casey in the 08 is in the B main, 77A. Mike Shapiro is in the B main. Michaela Stearns, her very first ever B main in the 20 car. Rob Lathrop, the 57. 10C, Carly Austin and Trey Daniels in the 3D, with Michael Stearns in the 28, also in the B main or qualifier, if you will. And they're going to take top 4. Robert?
I don't know.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to take the top 4 and transfer them to our feature.
I would imagine they are.
So that's that.
I'm going to try and name off some of their sponsors. If I
Go ahead, yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to see if I can get that in before they make a bunch of noise. So we got Justin Lovelace out there on the pole. He's sponsored by PK Tire. The 08. I'm going to find him in my paperwork.
He rode with me, and then I let him out of the car, and he kind of like, when you let a balloon loose.
The 08. He's out of Delhi. He's sponsored by Gonzalez and Gonzalez Welding and Casey Racing. That is your Stockton 99 Street Stock champ of 1989, Raymond Casey, in the 77 car. That's sponsored by Bay City Motors. That's Mike Shapiro in the pink 20 car. Sponsored by Chuck's Hamburgers, Community One Property, Ragello Bello, and McSparran Auto Glass. That's Michaela Stearns. In the 57 car, sponsored by Lathrop Product Development, Rob Lathrop. In the 10 car, sponsored by NorCal Transmission, Tax Tech, and Winchell Racing Tires, that's Carly Austin. In the 3 car, the gray 3 car, sponsored by Anderson Logging, Daniels Construction, and Pacific Auto Body. That's Trey Daniels. In the 28 car, sponsored by Chuck's Hamburgers, Community One Property, Regalo Bello, McSparran Auto Glass. That's Michael Stearns. In the 3 car, the white 3 car, sponsored by L5 Farming, JS Nowak, Platinum Transport, Brash Media. That's Zach Sansom. In the 52 car, sponsored by Performance Signs, David's Racing, Clean Blast, and Shermiska Racing. That's Mike Soyseth. In the 2Y. Sponsored by JWR, Jaeger Dental Supply, Jim Breen State Farm, and CPT Racing out of South San Francisco. That's Justin Yeager. In the 14E, sponsored by Bliss Power Equipment and Lincoln Shell. Out of Lincoln, California, that's Jason Elf. Uh-oh. Mike Soyseth and Zach Sansom get together on the front straightaway. One last sponsor to announce. In the 37 car, sponsored by Bay City Motors. Out of Manteca, that's Aaron DeJesus in the white 37. Looks like Zach Sansom and Mike Soyseth get together on the start of the race. Handsome off of the racing surface. Okay, he's got the right front wheel damage. Where's Michael Soyseth? He went into the pits there in the infield. They're going to see if he's okay. Give him the old once over. Talk to my my scorekeeper here. How many laps did we get in? 0. We got 0 laps in. Oh, look at that. Mike Soyseth getting ready to go back out. Looks like he might be okay. Line them up. Side by side. Justin Lovelace, Raymond Casey, Mike Shapiro, and Michaela Stearns. Rob Lathrop there in the 5th spot on the inside of Carly Austin. We're going to get this B main underway no matter what. 20 laps. Oh, and they're already crashing. Caution. Looks like Justin Lovelace and Raymond Casey were rubbing tires all the way through turn 3 and 4. Aaron Schenkel in the house. All right, let's try it one more time. Can we get this underway, ladies and gentlemen? I think we can. All right.
That's what you said last time.
I'm trying. If I can only do so much.
You got to try harder, Robert. Come on.
I'm so sorry.
People want to see some racing, so just
okay. Here we go.
Shut up, and race. Yes.
And there we go. Green flag. Justin Lovelace gets the early lead. Ray Casey in the 2nd spot. Mike Shapiro in the 3rd spot. Robin Lathrop trying to make his way around Michaela, but Michael Stearns right there with him. Michael Stearns in the 28. Rob Lathrop in the 57, the powder blue 57. Raymond Casey makes his way around Justin Lovelace. Justin Lovelace, first race, first B main with this car. In the 2nd spot, Mike Shapiro in the 3rd, Rob Lathrop in the 4th spot. Michaela Stearns right there in the 5th spot. Michaela Stearns, one of our past champions in our bomber division. Also raced a late model, I think, 1 or 2 times. Michaela getting comfortable, diving it in underneath Rob Lathrop. Takes over the position, moves up into 4th spot, leaving Michael Stearns behind. Mike Shapiro trying to get around this track. Can't see that number on the car, but it's a 77, the blue with the white side. That is Mike Shapiro. Michaela Stearns looking to the inside on turn 1, takes over the position, making it look easy. Makes it away around Mike Shapiro. Michaela. Justin Lovelace right there in the second position. Raymond Casey out in front. All right, I do want to say we have a fast lap of the race. Fast lap of the race is going to go to Michaela Stearns. First time in a car, and she's got the fast lap of the race at a 15.931. Michaela, fastest on the track so far. Looks like she's starting to catch Justin Lovelace. Oh, I take that back. Carly Austin moves up and takes over the top on the time chart. Carly Austin in the 10 car, currently in 5th position, has the fast lap of the race. But look at him. Throw a blanket over the top 5 right there going into turn 4. Michaela to the bottom, trying to get around Justin Lovelace, takes the position at the line. No, she lost it.
And they only need to finish top 4. Top 4 is all you need to finish to make the main. You don't need to go out there and win.
So 4th and 5th are the battle for the next race. Carly Austin and Rob Lathrop. Michaela getting real comfortable in this car. Michaela looks to the inside of Raymond Casey. Got a little bit sketchy there. Carly Austin dives it to the outside of turn 1. And around she goes. Hits Michael Stern. Broke. Michael Stern, don't hit the tire. Oh, thank goodness. Woo! Michael Stern banks it off the back straight wall, busts a tie rod, almost takes out 2 tires.
And the leaderboard says 5 to go when the flag came out. Whoa.
Michaela was telling me yesterday, these cars are sketchy. And you could tell right there by what Carly did. She was just trying to get that extra little bit, give it a little too much gas.
And
around it came.
Past the point of no return.
Just
so
snapped.
Wheelbase versus wheel width is so close to these cars that they're almost square instead of rectangular.
Yeah.
You see? So once you get them out of shape, they don't know which direction to go.
Yeah.
Plus, the weight factor, like we were just talking up here in the tower, they carry so much speed into the turns, and if you get on the binders too hard that you lock them up, well, they're so light that there's no weight, no contact weight on the tires themselves, and they'll slide right into the fence. I heard they even have bias, not front to back, but also in the front, left to right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because the left front has very little weight on it when you go into the turns.
All right.
And if you didn't back off some of that brake and you lock that left front up with no weight on it, slides again, you lose it. You lose it. So I heard that they have bias right to left in the front and then front to back. So 3 ways to adjust your brakes.
All right, I'd get so confused I wouldn't be able to drive one of these cars. It's
Well,
just not happening. I'm from street stock world, you know.
Well,
we didn't even have bias in street stock.
Like you were in there with a big comfy cushion around you and a lot of sheet metal and everything. And, you were and your pillow and your banky, and you were just all comfy in there. and it was all that. Yeah.
That's called roll bar padding, not blanky.
Well, blanky, roll bar padding, pre-med, pre-law, same thing. But these are just the roll bars, like what they're an inch in diameter or something. They get the door is right there in your elbow and everything. I don't know.
They are fun.
Well, I could see that, but
Like driving
but
a
so
big
is
go-kart.
bungee jumping. But
You ain't going to do it?
I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna
You've
do
heard
it.
tell it's fun?
So, yeah, really. So is alligator wrestling. They say that's a hoot,
Oh, yeah.
but I ain't gonna do it.
I'm good with that.
No.
We can let Pay Raise take care of that.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Mark Payraise is back here in the tower with us. Welcome back, Mark.
It is so good to be back.
Is he
So good.
We used to call him front stretch Payraise. He worked the front stretch, kept everything going. And, yeah, he was the did a lot of fun stuff with us. Like,
I remember him from the Quonset Hut at Altamont. Yeah.
And the Turn 1 Club, famous Turn 1. He was president of the Turn 1 Club, where we'd have our post-race meetings. And then
With his buck teeth and at Halloween
Billy
time.
Teeth.
Yeah.
Billy Teeth. And
Yeah.
man-eating chicken.
Yes.
Man-eating chicken. He could stand on his hands and stuff. He could. He was just amazing.
And we're green. Oh, my Lord. Look at that. Michaela Stearns, Justin Lovelace, asleep at the wheel or just spun him. I'm going to say he spun the tires. As Raymond Casey took off like lightning. Lightning in a bottle. Michaela.
4 laps to go.
Michaela Stearns battling it out with Justin Lovelace for the second position. Look at that. Mike Soisa trying to get up in the mix to make the main event in the 52 car. 3 laps to go. Rob Lathrop in the 57. Mike Soiseth in the 52. Oh, and they get together. Around they go.
Oh.
That's going to change everything.
Well, not everything, because the 08 and Michaela, they're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they are in good shape.
Pretty good shape, but
But there goes the chance for 52, the 57, and the 10 car.
ouch. Well, you got Rob Lathrop out there, okay,
Yeah.
and Mike Soiseth, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with, getting kind of long in the tooth, so to speak. A little gray around the temples.
Checkered yellow, there it is. Raymond Casey. Speaking of long in the tooth.
Justin Lovelace, Michaela Stearns, and Rob Lathrop round out the top 4, and they will transfer.
Rob Lathrop is in the wreck.
Well, it says right here, though. Look.
So it may go.
Says right there. So.
If they didn't cross the line, it may be Jason Elf.
Well, I'm just saying what's on. You want to argue with the computer?
I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask scoring right here.
Well, you go ahead and ask scoring. I'll just tell you what I saw.
Uh oh.
But getting back to Rob
Yeah,
Lathrop,
go for it.
Rob Lathrop and Mike Soiseth, and again, there's nothing wrong with a little gray in the temple, and getting a little older, and what the heck? I'm 47, 48 myself, getting up there. But those guys are old, Rob and Mikey Soiseth, they're old dudes,
Hey, wait a minute.
What?
I'm gonna be double nickels. Does that make me old?
Well, sure it does.
Oh crap.
Sure it does. But you've got good enough sense not to go out there with them kids, not to go out there with them kids and race those legend cars. You're up here where it's safe and sound, and that. But
Yep.
My question is, what in the heck are those guys doing out there? Do we have a finish? Do we have?
Is that what I'm seeing right there?
Okay. That's it. Okay, an official finish, because what I said before wasn't official.
Hold on. He says one more.
Wait on it.
Hold on.
Wait.
I don't have any drums. I have eardrums. I lied.
I'm confident about the top 4.
Okay. So we have the top 4. And Robert, go ahead.
Top 4 is going to be Raymond Casey in the 08. Justin Lovelace takes the second spot. You ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? Michaela Stearns' first race transfer. In the third spot, here's the surprise. Jason Elf in the 14E. finishing 4th.
Yeah, to my knowledge, that was the thing, transfer 4 into the feature.
Check, check, check. Hello, everybody. You thought I wasn't here, did you? Thanks to Wayne and the guys down in the booth for doing the Legends of the Pacific races. The track announcers down below my feet. I'm a one-man band here today, so you're gonna have to give me a break if you see something wrong. Go complain to someone else, because I won't even have time to read it. No, but thank you all for joining with us here. Spears Racing TV coverage of Stockton 99, the historic Stockton 99. Did you know that this track, if you didn't know, you're going to find out now. This track became a racetrack in the year 1947. That's a long time ago. And definitely one of the oldest tracks in California, but definitely the most historic and eldest of the racetracks that the Spears SRL series, racing series go to. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm Tommy Mason, and I'm not alongside Jeffrey Best, who I normally am. That's a voice that you're used to hearing with Jeffrey and I. Jeffrey's down south in Irwindale covering their opening night. I'm up north here. I mean, there could be you watching from farther up north than Stockton, but for me, this is up north at Stockton 99 Speedway. And we got to thank you for joining with us here on behalf of myself with Low Budget TV and the Spears Racing family. Thank you for spending your time with us on a Saturday evening, wherever you're watching from and whoever you're rooting for. Always love coming to this quarter-mile racetrack. Such a unique racetrack, as over in turns number 1 and 2, you see that it's banked. It's about 9 degrees of banking, 6 to 9. But me walking the track, that's got to be a 9-degree bank. I've heard 6, and I'm like, nah. Over here, however, it's about 6 to 12 degrees. Well, actually, depending on what lane you need, it is flat around the bottom, up to 12 degrees near the wall. And that's where the drivers, as you've seen in the Legend cars, and you're about to see in the Pro Late models, that's what you're going to see here around this unique racetrack. It's a paperclip oval. But on almost, if you were to look at it from above as the racing line goes, it's almost egg-shaped. And it's not because of the track shape, it's because of the track banking. So we get 2 Pro Late Model Heat races coming up now as the Motor City Buick GMC Pace Truck is getting ready to enter the racetrack. And you might have heard how it's going to go, but let me refresh you if you're a little bit confused, or maybe I can help. If you're just joining with us, listen in. So these are 20-lap heat races, and the top 6 in both will line up for redraw positions. So in the main event, the top 6 rows, or the top 12 starters, 6 from each, are going to redraw after their heats, meaning how they finish is not how they're going to start the main event. How they finish is how they're going to redraw for the starting lineup. However, they're going to be locked into that top 6 rows, top 12 positions. Everybody from row 7 on back are going to line up by their heat race result. So inside row for heat 1, outside for heat number 2. And there'll be 20-lap heat races here for the Spears Pro Late models at Stockton 99. I don't know if you can clarify me as a teacher. I don't know if I need to be or even want to be, but I hope I taught you something and explained it well enough for you all to understand what you're about to see here from Stockton. So the Motor City Buick GMC Pace Truck bringing this field out onto the racetrack. I'll lower this graphic and I'll bring up our scoring. So you can follow along as we go racing here in these heats. You see the YG on the side of some of the names. Those are the young guns. Sigma Performance, hang on, let me try that again. Sigma Performance Services Young Gun Shootout. As we're compiling points all season long. And whoever the highest finishing in points young gun at the end of the season will be racing in the Spears Southwest Tour Series. Thanks to Sigma Performance Services. So you see a bit of the starting lineup flashing by the screen as the field gets ready to all enter the quarter mile at Stockton 99. So definitely excited about coming to Stockton. It's always an exciting race, whether it's legend cars to pro late models, modifieds to Southwest Tour. Talked to some of the drivers here in the pits earlier, and they're expecting these heat races to be rough. However, I'll give them an understanding. I don't believe we're going to see some rough heat races. I know we are seeing the best of the best pro late models in the West. Drivers and teams getting ready to battle here. They're going to mind their P's and Q's. Everybody's going to be in this main event here tonight that showed up. So if you can make it through these heats and get into the main event, that is where we might see some rough stuff. And if you start on the tail of the field, you can easily try to survive and get up into the top 10 by the end of this night. 125 laps for the Asparagus Cup later this evening, but we go 20 laps apiece for the Spears Pro Late Model heat races as we get ready for heat number 1. John Moore will be starting up front alongside Hans Bieler. Jeremy Dawson, the 75, the 92Z of Dylan Zampa. Sam Solari in the 22, local racer here, and the 04 of Cole Brown. JoJo Stearns in the 6. Then we got the number 1W of Matt Wendt. 61, Robbie Hornsby. And he'll be alongside the 52 of Ryan Philpott. Then we got the number 43 of Tanner Reif and the 04 of Daniel DeVore. And rounding out the field, the number 36, Havasu 95 Speedway late model champion, Parker Malone. We'll round out this field here as Motor City Buick GMC Pace Truck peels off, and we go 20 laps for heat number 1 for the Spears Pro Late Models. 3 wide and 1, and they're making contact. It's getting rough early. 2 cars involved. So Hans Bieler and the number 2 goes around, and the number 6 of JoJo Stearns spins down low to avoid. Well, it's I guess they were right. Who am I to argue? Let's take a look at the replay of this one. So a good start here, but then we go 3 wide and a 1. And that's where it all breaks loose. Everybody doing a good job. It looks like the 61 of Hornsby did get the nose of the 2 of Bieler. Slow it down here. It's entering 1, 3 wide. And that just catapulted the 2 around. JoJo right there is where the 61 of Hornsby collects the nose of the 2. But JoJo doing a good job of spinning it out without making any contact with the inside wall or any other race cars. And good job by the spotters and drivers themselves to navigate through that as much as possible on this narrow racetrack. Taking a look at the Spears Racing TV replay here from Madera. As the scene is clear and the field getting lined up. So this will be a complete restart. And again, top 6 is the redraw positions. Everybody else on back will be lined up by their finish. We go green. Moore with a good run into one, much cleaner restart. John Moore, your leader down the back straightaway. Cole Brown in the 0-4. He's meeting that inside row sandwich with Went behind. Doss in the second spot now. And Brown starting to make contact. Oh, and a stack up down the back straightaway. Hornsby getting the worst of it. Major front end damage on that 61. As Doss now looking for the lead. Looking high, looking low. To try to get around the 27 of Moore. Battle is here. Doss looking low, but down the back straightaway, Brown in the 0-4 machine to the inside of Zampa in the 92Z. As we continue to battle up front. Hornsby in the 61 off the track. And trouble around. Nope, they save it. That's the 6 of Stearns and the 1 of Went. But up front battle. Out of turn number 4, pedaling. Down low is the 75 of Jeremy Doss. The boss, Jeremy Doss, picked up the win in round number 1 at Irwindale Speedway at the Sunrise Ford All-Star Showdown. But trying to get around the veteran, the 27 of John Moore, Mr. Iced Coffee. If a phlebotomist took his blood, that's what you'd get, is iced coffee. These two have separated themselves away from Beeler's number 2 machine. And they are right there, nose to tail. The rest of the field, single file. 12 laps remain. I want to show the rest of the field, but they're all single file. And as soon as I do, I know Doss is going to make a move to the inside. Parker Malone now to the inside of Philpotts, number 52. They make contact. Parker Malone needing to learn this racetrack. I talked to him in the pits. He said, I don't know. I feel like I got a good car. I just need to figure out this racetrack. Hoping that some consistent lap times on a long run as Doss goes to the inside will help the 36. Battle for the lead. Jeremy Doss to the inside of John Moore. And we go yellow as a couple of cars stack up. We've seen these two already make contact. And Went in the 1 and the 6 of Stearns get collected. See if I got a replay here from our front straightaway shot as they drive away. They look up high on the screen near the wall, and it looks like Went goes around and collects Stearns in the 6. Take a look at it one more time. Right there, up into the wall. That'll bring out our second caution. Spears Racing TV replay. Now the field getting the 2 to go sign. Double follow. Now, those of you are probably wondering, like I am, why the lap counter is not showing up on scoring. I'm not too sure why that would be, but we're going to see if we can get down to the bottom of it. This restart will be a restart with 8 laps to go. 12 laps in. As a reminder, top 6 are your redraw positions. Parker Malone has now entered into that spot in the 36. Remember, he started in the tail of the field. Brown in the 04, Zampa in the 92Z, Dylan Zampa. Hans Bieler in the 2. John Moore to the outside of the front row. Or I'm sorry, inside of the front row as Jeremy Doss chooses the outside. As the Motor City Buick GMC pace truck peels off. And we're back to it here from Stockton. Oh, Bieler, big old cross up through turn number 1 and 2, and around goes the 6 of Stearns all by himself. Will we see a caution? We will. So Stearns maybe fighting some ill handling there after that incident into the wall, getting sandwiched. But out of the corner of my eye, as we were watching all the craziness with the 2, the 6 just innocently spun around in the corner all by himself. Take a look at Hornsby, if we could. The 61 machine had a big issue down the back straightaway. You can see him out of the car there. The crew assessing the damage. They will have time to fix it between the next heat and the feature for the Legends of the Pacific here at Stockton. But after that, you got what you got. They are looking at some possible debris up high in 3. Maybe even checking for a wet spot. I see them eyeballing everything. See a tire mark there that was not from today. And the 6 is in the pit, so Stearns. Hood up. So it looks like we'll be bunching up the field here.
All right, I hope another one don't bite the dust this time because lights are out.
Getting ready for the restart here. Jeremy Doss up high. John Moore trying to retake the lead, but Doss will get ahead. Going into one. Brown with a run on the outside. The 0-4 machine trying to take it 3 wide with Zampa down low. Dylan Zampa, the 92Z machine. So Cole Brown trying to hold off. Oh, trouble, and Wint goes up the side of the 22. Trouble into one. This was the dreaded rough one that we expected, or that they expected, that I hope not. The 4 cars getting collected. Going into turn number 1. We go red here at Stockton. Let's see if we can see a replay here. So looks like going into turn number 1. It is Philpott and the 2 of Beeler, who's been collected in just about everything this race. Went in the 1. Climbs up the side of Solari. And Rye from the 43 will get in the back of Wint. Going there into 1. Oh boy. So I'm worried the most about the 22 of Solari and the 1 of Wint, as they made the most contact. I do want to look at this one more time. I want to assess the 43. How bad did he get it? Going into 1. He found an escape route, but the 1 was in it. I don't know. We'll have to see when we get them fired back up. But it looks like the officials are taking a look underneath the backs of these cars. Maybe reports of fluid on the racetrack. As you see, they're trying to inspect not only underneath the car, but also rub the rear bumper inside the bumper cover to check for any fluids on their fingers.
So it looks like we have a little bit of track cleanup. They're trying to get all the pieces and parts up off of the track.
We're throwing the caution back on. Get them out of turn number 1 and 2 so they can further inspect. See who left a trail. Now I'm going to go leave this because I was asking about the 43. And I do see damage. As expected, but we'll see what the crew thinks when they possibly open up the hood. You see the front end crinkled up. Now the initial concern is obviously tire rub, and then the ducting to get to the air to the radiator. But that thing is sealed shut now, as it would have collapsed. Rife is part of the Young Guns program, so he does not want any major issues coming into a main event, these heat races. Hood off. And you can see they're looking at the front nose area for the shroud and the ducting. That's the biggest concern with an impact like that. It might not look like much, but it can be a bigger issue later. Beeler getting pushed into the infield. He's had a rough heat race, number 1. And they're actually going to bring the field into the infield. Now let's take a look at the one machine of Wendt. Considering he climbed up the 22, I guess that's the best case scenario. He's kind of been involved in quite a bit here tonight.
So we got 5 laps to go. What do we got going on here?
And it looks like what do we got going on over here, guys? They're going to walk shoulder to shoulder and inspect this racetrack. And they're also bringing the field to the infield to inspect these race cars. Well, off to an interesting start here in Stockton. As you see there, that's the race. Doss, Moore, Brown, Zampa, Malone, and Philpott all in the redraw spots. So the 4D of DeVore, Beeler, Solari, Wendt, and others are all going to be starting on the inside rows per their result.
For Brian Jones, let's talk about who's on the racetrack.
Let's do that in the 6 car.
Mike Beeler.
It is.
Got to be.
All right, in the 6 car. He is sponsored by Beeler Industries and David's Racing Products. Out of Salida, that is Mike Beeler. In the 15 car, sponsored by Ernest Performance and S&S Sports Enterprises. Out of Willits, that's Mike Laval. In the 71 car, sponsored by Pacific Coast Propane and PB Plumbing. This guy was in the Legends race earlier. He is now in the late model race. In the 71, Jake Bowman. And in the 92 car, not the 92Z, but the 92 car, sponsored by Home, Metal Fab, and Huckfelt Well Drilling out of Napa. That's Logan Zampa. In the 16 car is Jacob Combs, sponsored by Sunnyside Farms, that it's Sun Valley Farms. And in the 90 car, sponsored by Nut Up and Marcellus Drilling, also mainline equipment, that's Ross Stromiska. And in the 98 car, sponsored by Mass Rock Farms and Marcellus Drilling out of Oakdale, that's Blaine Rocha. And in the 8 car, sponsored by Folsom Lake Asphalt Civil Engineering Construction out of Cameron Park, that's Jason Romero. And in the 28 car, out of Modesto, sponsored by Turlock Feed and Livestock Supply. And you're getting his head done by Steve Hank Gosmike Jr. And in the 7 car, this guy coming here all the way from Henderson, Nevada, sponsored by Vegas Faster's Power Gen Components, as Tyler Reif.
So the field at the ready here for the second heat race. 20 laps, the distance, top 6. Get the redraw after this. You could finish 6th. Redraw a 1, be on the pole. You never know. All others will start the main event per their finish on the outside row. We go green. Romero goes way wide into turn number 1. Mike Beeler, your leader. 3 wide through turns number 3 and 4. Right from the 7 down low. So Mike Lavelle in the 15 machine up into the second spot. Bowman to the inside of Logan Zampa now in the 92 machine. Gomes in the 16. SRL Southwest Tour champion of 2015. Had an older Fury chassis that he wanted to go pro late model racing, and he goes, I don't know how many times I'm going to race it, but when I do, or when I can, I will. He's can tonight. Bowman to the inside still on the 90 of Stramiska, teammate behind the 98 of Rocha. All battling around that redraw spot. And Rocha will take it. Up to 6, the 98 goes. Gomes still fighting low, trying to get that spot back. Now the way that these races were lined up, if you didn't know, were per their entry. So when a driver filed their entry into this weekend's racing, that is where you were lined up in your heat race. Rive giving the bumper to the 16 of Gomes. Romero on the rear bumper of the 7 of Tyler Rife. As Lavelle starting to close in on Beeler. Down the back straightaway, your top 2 go. And looking to the inside. So it's a little bit of a deja vu from race number 1, where the top 2 started to drive away from 3rd. Even more of a little deja vu as the 15 is a teammate to the winner of heat number 1, Jeremy Dasu. Now Lavelle had to hit the brakes on the exit of 2 as Beeler was not squared away to leave that corner. Single file throughout this entire field. This is where the action is. Rocha, Bowman, Stramiska, and Logan Zampa. That was 6th through 3rd. Rocha looking low now on the inside of Bowman, and Stramiska sideways out of 4. Jake Bowman, rookie to the Pro Late Models, part of the Young Gun Shootout, flipping backwards now to the hands of the 16 of Gomes. Bowman now with a huge slide. He's doing double duty, running the Legend cars as well, but he picked up a big slide into the center of 1 and 2. Battle up front for the lead. Beeler trying to hold off the 15 of Lavelle as we're inside of 5 to go. Mike Lavelle, Ukiah Speedway racer, knows these northern racetracks very well. Mike Beeler, driver that we've seen up here as well as Madera Speedway. He knows these tracks very well. Who's going to get the upper hand and take the checkered in heat number 2? Everybody single file trying to sort it out as we are coming to 2 laps to go. Can Lavelle make a charge around Beeler this final lap. Coming to the line, you'll see the white flag. Behind them, single file, but they're bumper to bumper. I would doubt that anybody back there would make a move because they are solidly in your redraw spot. But Lavelle wants to win. He looks to the inside in turn number 3. Gets crossed up, and Mike Beeler to the line, checkered flag. Heat number 2 is a lot smoother and a lot more greener than that first heat in the Spears Pro Late Model Series. So Mike Beeler in the 6 machine taking the lead early, taking the win at the end of heat number 2. So much better, much cleaner race in heat 2. Coming up next will be the Legends of the Pacific main event. Got to thank each and every one of you for being with us here on this fine Saturday evening, as you can see in the grandstands. Admission is available, and I got to thank all these fans for coming out and supporting their local racetrack. And folks, go to the websites, srlsouthwesttour.com as well as SpearsModifiedSeries.com for the full list of the 2021 racing schedule. So when we come to your hometown, we get to see your beautiful faces right with us. As it looks like things are starting to reopen in California, namely racetracks, and we want to see you there with us. As much as we appreciate your support and as much as fun as we have bringing the action to your living room, we got to see you there. So support your local tracks. And, again, check out the websites, srlsouthwesttour.com and SpearsModifiedSeries.com for the full list of schedules. Follow us when they're not at your hometown, but be there when we are. I'm going to hand it over to the track PA as they're going to do a little bit of a redraw. We're going to find out those results here later, and they'll probably also posted. Your starting lineup will be probably posted on the SRL Southwest Tour Facebook page, so keep an eye out there while the legend cars are running. But that's heat racing from Stockton, and I guess the drivers were half right, and I was half right. I expected these two heat races to go much like heat number 2 went, but it was not the case in heat number 1. I think this continues to show, though, that the best out west pro late model drivers are here at Stockton. They made that heat 2 look smooth.